What's up, ladies? Welcome back to the channel. Sarah here, accidental handmade business owner. Today we are working with our my very first melt and pour soap recipe. I'm going to be sharing with you exactly how I make the pink champagne massaging soap bar that I will be offering for Valentine's Day 2022. So I will put a link to the product once it's finished and up on my website down below in the description box so you can see how it turned out. I will also be sure to include links to all of the products that I use or the ingredients that I used, and a actual recipe with measurements and such will be down there as well. If you decide to make this soap, definitely let me know down in the comments below. I would love to know how it turned out for you. And if you're of course new to melt and pour soap making, I did make this ultimate guide video that I will link in the description as well. I recommend, if you've never used melt and pour soaps before, or you don't know exactly where to start, I would highly recommend watching that video all the way through before you start with this one. And again, watching this video all the way through before you start to actually make it. Let's get into the voiceover. All right, the first thing I did for our rosé soap is gather all of my materials that you see here and set them up. Again, once you melt all of your soap base, you do kind of need to work quickly, so it's best to have absolutely everything ready to go and set up, open, all of those kinds of things before you get started. Next up, we're going to sanitize our workspace and our silicone mold. This is also when I put my gloves on because I'm going to start touching raw ingredients. I'm just using a regular kitchen scale. I got this from Target to to weigh and cut up my soap base. Today we're going to be needing 16 ounces total, and that's gonna make 4 4-ounce massaging soap bars. Once I have that weighed out, I just go ahead and use a cutting board and knife to cut the base into cubes. Really, the smaller the pieces you get, the quicker it will melt. So I guess it really just depends, do you want to wait or do you want to spend the extra time on the front end, or do you want to spend the extra time on the back end waiting for larger chunks to melt? Now I'm going to separate these into 2 containers. Both are heat proof. One is going to contain 13 ounces, which will be our pink color, and the other will be gold, and that will be 3 ounces. Here I'm just using an old makeup brush that I no longer use for makeup and have thoroughly cleaned to dust gold mica powder into the molds. I've actually never tried this way of kind of like marbling soap before, so we're all gonna be surprised together whether or not it works out. Once our soap base has melted, we're going to add in that fragrance and give it a really, really good stir. After they've combined, we're going to add in our mica powder. Again, the 13-ounce portion is going to get the pink mica, and the 3-ounce portion is going to get the gold. Again, we're going to keep stirring and stirring until we combine. My advice here would be to alternate pouring each color and not stir it at all. If you stir them, what's gonna happen is, because they're both so hot, the color's gonna mix together and you won't have like a marble effect that we're going for. And our final step before we let the soap set is to use that little spray bottle of rubbing alcohol to spray any bubbles off of the surface. Now, once everything has been poured, you should not move your molds at all. This is super, super important. The littlest movement is going to change how that soap sets. So pour it wherever you're going to keep it to dry. All right, so here we are unmolding our soaps. They turned out so nicely. I do wish that the marble was a little bit more marbly, I guess would be the word for it. So I'm gonna have to do you know, a couple more trials to try and get that exactly how I want it. But I do really like the overall look, and the fragrance is really nice for the soap as well. Perfect for Valentine's Day. So there you have it. There is my full pink champagne melt and pour soap routine or tutorial for the upcoming Valentine's Day holiday. If you decide to make this soap, definitely let me know down in the comments below. If you have any marbling tips, I'd also love to hear that as well. Again, as I always say, this is a community. I am not here just to tell you what to do. All right, I'll see you in my next video.